I am here in the belly of the Blizzard beast right now. I've sequestered Jay Wilson, game director, Diablo 3, in this little tiny office. He's going to answer every question I ask. Limited questions, that is. First thing, Jay, you brought everybody here. Massive, massive announcements. More than one. So kind of run through what you guys talked about here, what you're showing people.
Well, the major thing that we're showing people today is information about Battle.net and the Battle.net services. And so that involves allowing people to always be persistent online, keep their characters. Even if they leave the game, their characters will be stored. Being able to connect with their friends really easily with persistent friends lists and just kind of ability to join people anytime. And the ability to trade really easily between players using an auction house that they can use to trade with in-game currency, or they can even trade with real money, so they can buy items directly from other players using real money.
Let's talk about the persistent online presence. This is very much like StarCraft 2 in that this game is always online. I'm assuming that you have to be online to play this game.
Yes.
Was the decision made before StarCraft 2 came out to do that, or you saw that, hey, this is viable, we can just ask people to be online all the time and they'll still want to play the game?
The decision was made almost simultaneously for both StarCraft 2 and Diablo 3, although I think we'd been pushing for it on the development team for quite a while, mainly because we felt like online was the way we could provide the best possible experience for players. It's where we could guarantee that we could store their characters, where we can improve security, and where we could be sure that they're always connected to their friends. There was a lot of problems with Diablo 2 where players would make and build characters offline and then discover, kind of by accident, oh, I can't play with anyone else. And that was a situation that we just never wanted to happen, and we really wanted to fix.
What's the bandwidth level here? How can you get into this game?
Well, the bandwidth for Diablo is very, very low, and it has to be because we tend to run hundreds of games on a single server. So the bandwidth has always been just basic in the design, regardless of whether we've gone online or not. It's basic in the design that the bandwidth has to be extremely, extremely low. So if you don't have broadband, you should still be able to play online and have a really good experience.
So AOL, keep sending us those demo discs. One of the things I got from the demos that you guys are doing here, it really seems like you focused on streamlining the experience. For one, being able to share an inventory across all of your characters throughout the game. Two, having the cube that allows you to deconstruct items on the spot. Being able to sell items instantly within the world instead of transporting back to town. Everything just seems more streamlined. Is that kind of what you guys were thinking of? Obviously, you're designing a lot of things in the game, but it seems like overall it's a far more streamlined experience.
Well, whenever we make a game at Blizzard, it's always a goal of ours to make it, as we like to say, easy to learn, impossible to master. And part of making it easy to learn is kind of looking at one, quality of life issues like, do you really need to go back to town to sell an item? Why? Like, it's an inconvenience. It's several more steps than you really need to do. And also just in terms of making things easier to play, we streamline the skill system a lot to try and keep complexity really high, but play up to the kind of game that Diablo is, which is a game that's really about experimentation. It's about building a lot of different kinds of builds, and it's about really being able to explore the space of the character that you're in. If you look at Diablo 2 and you talk to and listen to the community, you're going to find what the problems were with Diablo 2 pretty quickly. And not being able to trade items between your characters was a massive problem in Diablo 2. And so we definitely wanted to solve it. And having a stash that allows you to essentially share all your items amongst all the characters on your account, and then also being able to access all your items from any character to go into the auction house, not have to worry about logging into a particular character to interact with the auction house. These are all really nice convenience features that make the game a lot easier to play and a lot more fun.
Being able to switch skills on the fly is obviously a huge deal. And then it's not just about pouring points into specific skills. It's a lot more malleable. You can do a lot more stuff with the skill system. So kind of walk me through what you guys showed here today and what you're doing with the skill system overall.
Well, essentially, we're focusing the skill system a lot less on the idea of these, I'm going to make this permanent, a fixed choice forever on my character, to a lot more of, I've got a very small number of skills I can take, and I have a lot of skills that have unlocked for me. So which skills do I pick and choose to create the perfect build? So we let players basically freely swap their skills in and out of this limited number, 6 active skills and 3 passive skills. So at any time you can change which skills you're using, but you can never only have those maximum amount. And the nice thing about that is that we're not asking the player to make a choice before they understand that choice. We're saying, play around, figure out the build you like, and then you can start committing to building a specific character. And some of the other systems within the game, like the rune system, really involve investing more in the skills that you've actually chosen.
And let's shift gears a little bit. One of the things that we saw when we first sat down to take a look at the demo here today, the follower system. What is that exactly?
So followers are really a kind of carry forward of a system that was in Diablo 2 called hirelings, which essentially followers are kind of mini heroes. They're not as awesome as the player, but they're still pretty awesome. And when they meet the player, they're kind of so enamored of you and your awesomeness that they want to join you and follow you into battle. So the cool thing about followers is that you can customize kind of their abilities as well. They're simpler than the player, but they still got some good customization. And there's 3 different ones, and each one has kind of different powers and abilities. So you can kind of say, for example, if you're a demon hunter or more ranged character who doesn't want to get in the thick of fighting, you can take the Templar, who can be a tank and be really tough for you and kind of distract enemies, and then you can kind of customize him to that role. But they also serve a story role, and that whenever you have a follower with you, well, he has a personality and a view of the world, and he will interact with you. He will comment on the world. He'll interact with other NPCs in the world, and he does this all based on, like, for example, if you are playing a female wizard, he'll interact with you like you're a female and like you're a wizard, not just like you're the generic player character. So we really did this to try and enhance the storytelling aspects of the game, which was a big part of Diablo 3.
Female wizards. So basically flirt with me in a very polite manner.
We actually have the scoundrel is quite the flirt.
All right.
Quite the flirt.
Well, guess who my follower is going to be? And then my last thing for you, exact day, date,
He doesn't
and time.
flirt with guys, though.
What?
Sorry.
This is not, obviously this game's not going to be sold in New York. And then my last thing for you, exact day, date, and time of the beta?
When it's done.
As usual, eloquent in its brevity. I thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.